sanguine and the choleric. Now, taking the choleric no yeah, the type now very outspoken. Whenever there is anything, they are the first people to talk. Uja choleric ba bibia when you are how no more pay. Even if the place is quiet, the next minute over to say obiaba or pekasa or kasa or yes say that is it. In fact, the nature of the choleric is so conspicuous to the sense that even the way they dress, their dressing is loud, their talking is loud. Like showmen, they like to be known, and they are when people hear about them, they love it. Indeed, most of the time when it comes to people into the arts, musician, film star, they are good at those areas. Comedians, they are everywhere they are, they keep the place alive. That is the sanguine. Yeah.
And then Reverend Isaac, and then any sanguine and choleric, no, I say almost subino.
Yeah.
Yes,
almost say
that similarity. And to know one behavior is just like same, but only that there are little things that differentiate one from the another.
A bit the same.
Say yaba sanguine noa ne send them brother Kofi Dikayaka no. Woman the no a bit louder than the choleric. And choleric for almost pekasa. And there are people who always want to lead. They are that type as like woman J and no so easily. Woman they will try as much as possible to work over until they get a result out of it. And to such people, if I'm living with them is a bit difficult. Say 1, 2 or more year because it's like say one more year there. It's difficult. So they always want to tell them that what the plans they have is the right thing. And to know such people is like it's very difficult, like earlier on said, difficult to live or work with because they always lead. They say woman yankophobia say bia we are boss. Now they come to work under you now. My sister, it's difficult.
And no na ye mo na ye ntias na so me too known.
Too known, that is that. And yes, say woman ye too known per se. Na mom eye sua ewo mum. And they say identity. But in fact, say we have the negative aspect and then positive side too. Say all you have to do is to channel the positive, and they will do it for you very easily. Which is not that. That's how they are.
No, genetic and hereditary.
Well, I will not. Actually, that is how people say, or people have written it, and we take it to be, say, yeah, the war more. But I believe, say, yeah, back Christian, Jumedimwa. I don't believe, say, yeah, the war no, that's how you have to be. Because the whole Christianity is about change. Well, because Obi to me, what Obi one as melancholy, and as the person is growing, Obi to me develop to go to change its trait to different traits. It's possible. Into no person major to say be okay, Obi ebe wuni biya no, ye won't know with the particular traits. But environment can also change wo traits are the wo no. If you only allow yourself to for that change in the will be to me as from one trait to another.
Reverend Barnes.
Yeah.
But I mean, say Obi betimi aka say okay, asemesi Reverend wo hoi youth bi or hwe wasua o say dia wo ye wo niema na wo sa category nim nti osua on the part of bibia wo ho bia nti osua sa suban so e dia ka ho a
what what I would say is the temperament, I think yes, we forgot to acknowledge some people and whatever, but we will do that anyway. I believe in, say, if you are to speak about a subject, I believe that most of the time people will say, oh, I made a research and from my research this is what I am presenting. But very often when we say we make a research, it's not like we've made a research. We've not made a research. We have actually read from somebody's research. And it's always prudent that if you read something, a research from someone, you acknowledge the person whenever you have to make a presentation. And for that reason, I want to acknowledge Dr. Tim LaHaye, one person who has written extensively about temperaments. In fact, if you ask me, how do you know this, how do you know that, I'll say I read from Tim LaHaye. So whatever I have learned about temperaments, I read them from Tim LaHaye, and is internationally known for temperament studies. And the book Baku Ochroye say why you act the way you do. Now when you read that book right from the beginning, he begins to explain temperament, and he starts by saying that everybody, the temperament you have is a genetical transfer from either of your parents. And he went further to say that, in fact, your temperament, where you get the strongest part of your temperament, usually come from your grandparents. So and one of the things that he has taught us about temperaments is the fact that everybody, you have one main temperament that defines you. But then, apart from that one main temperament, you may have other temperaments.
Wake kakra,
and then so you have the primary temperament, the secondary, and then the tertiary. So when you look at it from what you are saying, say, can somebody learn? Now, talking about the learning somebody's temperament, I don't think is that easy. But one thing that I have learned from Tim LaHaye is that when a person gets born again and the person is spirit filled, right? When you get born again, what happens is that the Spirit of God helps you control the temperament that you have, and by so doing, your weakness, every temperament has its weakness and strength. By so doing, because of the Spirit of God in you, you'll be able to, where you find it, your weakness, you work about it and get it stronger, and your strong side can also be made better. So when it comes to learning somebody's temperament, I doubt if you can really learn somebody's own, but I know environment can influence your temperament.
Maybe a reverend I did say our obi ye na de say suban say your dying edino ebuano anti me pese me so fa sa pattern no na me so me di come anim ya me pese me
that is where we're talking about spirit controlled. The spirit control is when you see that there's a good thing which my temperament does not even allow me to, but am now disciplining myself to be able to do that. Because let's take it for instance, a sanguine. Sanguines are very indisciplined. Naturally, they are very indisciplined.
Because some are loud.
It's like by nature. Oshebwa untimi ndi ni boshe so. Obetimi ashebo ondi ni boshe so. It's not because ono non person obedi ni boshe ni so. The problem of the sanguine is that because of his nature, Oshebwa onwene hu. Na washewe bo, na boshe na bobo no so na ebebre. Inti no getting to honor those promises, one say acquire the amount, right? But when a sanguine becomes spirit filled and is being controlled, you realize that answer no beshebono obedwino answer no beshebono obedwino, because in a way when who say that aspect of his life has become a weakness. It's a weakness, and he has to correct it. Into the affair, abribia. Everyone says so. Oshebo bibi uno. Odwini once a day. Washebo, because we won't say sadeno ekutiano. But and I'm say we won't say ekutiano or ye hu dwume odi hu dwumentino. Afei obesha ne ho so on just say on shebo without recourse. Yes, answer no beshebono obedwene. That is
na one choleric no musubano ya say omo so wo sa attitude no omusubano. For me, choleric and sanguine almost say too much. The only way I almost say is the fact that both of them are outgoing. But then the choleric is a bit different in certain ways. Someone know you loud passing.
Loud. You know. Sometimes cholerics, but we are sanguine. Now only choleric who are, we are choleric in way. Cholerics naturally, we are sanguine. We are cholerics naturally. We are sanguine, so we get closer to cholerica. It get to a point when we are here because no choleric no. If you put 10 people in a room, you leave them and you come back, you see the sanguine showing up, but you find that within the short time now, one person becomes the boss in the group. That is a choleric, and most often they will shut the sanguine down because of their possessive nature. And cholerics, almost say the sanguine is doing things to outshine them. And every time, one person can sanguine. Naturally, that is how it is.
Now, I say, Oya Sroya, we no say. A choleric neutral says sanguine no baby buafano so.
Every time obey making sure say you put you in your place. That is a choleric.
My main call Reverend Isaac na mimbisa no say sir, this type of a nipa ye war motitru any choleric na ne ye can wa 73 no affect omo relationship or my worry and I say almost musubano no nti o worry na no nya na de nisubano no unti mean sesano and now sesano be ye.
Yeah, but that's the mommy. But as I say, in everything that we do, say kasa about Christians. No, me can say every child of God is bound to change. Because one, the whole concept of Christianity is about change. So I share some about assembly call Colossians chapter 2. Waka bibi say sane ya Jesus Christ this ya kra na ya jenkwa no. Ye nante wonumu. Also rooted and built up in him and establish in the faith as you have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. So you can kind I realize is a sin of a change. Into say one more relationship no nneoma nyina say one more warrior and as if they are in a relationship, what happens is that one, I say they are people who always want to lead and they want to control things. And that trait now say if it's very difficult to marry such people or be in relationships with such. And one thing we need to do is like and our so and as a release vehicle biano. Sometimes we need to take time and then steady in pakrona meneno kwa kwenya sa ngitewude no so that we understand him. You can be say, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. But personally, I don't quote it for God so loved the world. I use the word for God so understood the world or understands us. Because until you understand the person, you cannot love the person. You see, and to know one more sooner one more is such that so one two or more there will always be fighting, there will always be quarrel in the house. Because the person wants to lead. He's trying to tell you that do it this way. So it becomes very difficult. But I believe that still there is a room to change and to work upon. Very seriously. The brother Kabi say that is how they are. And it's very difficult to something. It's like that's how you are. I believe in that. You come, you have a trait from your grandfather, your mother, whatever. But one, he says something very powerful there, that environment changes. Yes, of course. If the environment change people or personalities, then that means that I don't want to sound that environment as where I live, but it's people that I move on with, people that I do with. Internet say me who say you have a different temperament than I do, and I realize that maybe you are senior and you are boss or whatever thing over me. Then in a way you must help me and I must also subject myself to learn. It's something you can learn. I want to take myself as an example. I know I was from somewhere different temperament and now I'm on a different level altogether. You can say, "Uncle, you will never get me." Because my birthday, people will come to the house. I will do it until everybody goes before I come out. But when I receive Jesus Christ as my Lord and personal Savior, here am I, go everywhere preaching. I don't fear crowd. So it's possible to change. It affects relationship if they are not willing to change and to work on themselves. So temperaments are easy. I would say that it's very easy to change or switch to different temperament if only you are a good Christian.
No, Bibisa say we know some category of people bina aya etimikita sa temperament no ana san say emema nkasa no eye bossy dada. Bible na me ante say omo the head of the family, omo ye bossy dada, na omo wo ego kakra bi ewo mu dada na say sa suban whether two ni nyina onya ba kokra wo mu ka ho a
well, it's a Oba, if say Oba no was our temperament, no, and the same with Berman with the same temperament, sometimes very difficult. And no, and Tamboa. I believe say if say our remora, we must have a good time to educate people so that they will know what temperament to choose. Was very necessary. So we call worry or be correct. No bad you're correct, but and then who say there will always be fire in the home. Well, man can say you'll be beyond or more soon. Yes, of course, will be beyond was soon. Who bet to me, me to me. Obia dear soon. Okay, you have your own temperament, I have my own temperament. But a bit me and say, who bear the same temperament that I also have. And see if we yesuya ya ho ye ana yesuya ye ho say okay, this is who I am. Na me no bia share in purpose the same thing now because I know who I am and my discussions in purpose that's the same way I know sort no, then I must come to a place that I'll be able to flow with the person. Let me try to create some space for the person to also operate. let me give some room. Let me just, you see, we can share and also live at the same time in unity. But say, me who said this is how I am, and then also understand that this is how the person is, then there will always be friction. But obi bia want a temperament. Obi bia be woni bia say na can want a temperament. But if you allow yourself for the Spirit of the Lord to mold you, you can study all the four. But now Kramati say a 5. You study, I bet you say a 5. There was one in between the melancholic or whatever. There's in between one. And you realize, say, it's possible to change. You can. One thing we need to do is to, first of all, who say, where you are. Now, yeah, test on ourselves. Okay, which group do I belong to? Into whom baby I want one. I will study normal in Pakunusuno and I'm Missun Sania Etia. Now, if it's okay, if I can add this one to rate a bit boami to bring myself a bit down to remember me who can make to me, meaning for my bibino BBA to me, I'll pay myself near media. Then fine, let me choose this one also and learn how they also behave, and then add it to mine, or if I can switch. It's possible. It's possible. It's 100% possible. Yeah.
Reverend Bansi say enya possible.
I disagree.
Yama tree no no so na.
I disagree. What do you mean? The from Tim Lahi, someone who have done extensive research on temperaments. Yeah, he has made it clear, when we talk about change in temperaments, he used the changes of temperaments. He talked about Peter and how Peter was in discipline, but after the Spirit of God, being on him, he's a changed person, and he still maintained the sanguine, but now positively. The change is that the negatives now come to positive, but you are still the same temperament. And he gave another instance. Let's look at Paul the apostle, in Galatians. This one is not from Tim Lahi, I read it myself. In Galatians chapter 1, from verse 13, let's read something. It said, you know what I was like when I followed the Jewish religion, how I violently persecuted Christians. I did my best to get rid of them. I was one of the most religious Jews of my own age, and I tried as hard as possible to follow all the old traditions of my religion. But then something happened, for it pleased God in his kindness to choose me and call me even before I was born. What undeserved mercy! Then he revealed his son to me so that I could proclaim the good news about Jesus to the Gentile. When all this happened to me, I did not rush out to consult with anyone else. Now, look at Paul, someone who was Paul ekasa efa ono no chese mokai sanya first na mete sana na metai Kristo for me kuomu chese me just amante se Kristo ni bi ha kwan bia mefa so me ya che no ne ye kunu no me de be fa so, but BBC ye no chese Nyankopon na dum bi den eso ne so eno na enne ono ana ochi epe e Christopher Kuono, Siciano, or no answer Croyana, Siciano, or cheese obetri at Boya for bedding, Abbey Christopher. So, what change we see in temperament is that when the person was an unbeliever, he is a choleric, Paul is the number one choleric in the Bible. Now, cholerics, when they or the sin in so or yeah, dear way, he would just do it, and he did it. He was just yes, and he would do everything possible to achieve his goal. He did it. Now, when he became Christian too, he did everything to achieve his goal. He did the work more than any other person. That is choleric for you, because a human who ma opeso oye ma ono no ne de no echi obia de. Yes, that is their nature. Ntinu se boni so na odia. Cholerics, when they are not born again, when they are not Christian, they are very dangerous people. If a choleric is not, Christian, those are the people. Yes, when a choleric is not born again, he's a very dangerous person. But when they become born again too, and they are doing the work of God, you will love them, because baby, I will be in Kolobeko. Say nyame adwuma na meye nia like obia to me because omono ye nkofobia colleagues ni nkofobia, nothing deters them. Adia ebia ye nyina ye so e pese yes anyway na wo dwen say adia we kan we betimi ato okwan so we ono sa na ebeto okwan so no enu mpo na ehye ni nkran wo de ma me nko na me koduru ho a be be onu ma ni ebesi no omo de no. That is it. Now, I live with one.
I
know.
I want to come in there. You see, say no kade nya obiant me nkono oni de obeko. Okay. But don't you know this trait is so beautiful that kind of fearful people. They don't want to struggle with people. They don't want to
Those
do
are the
melancholics. Okay, fine. But what I'm trying to say is that, so don't you think that if I'm a melancholic and then I see you choleric and what you do, don't you think that can be a challenge for me to also move on to do what you are able to do? And that is a change.
But you are still a melancholic.
No.
Because
fine. You are still. You are still okay.
Let me tell you something about. Let me show you something. If a melancholic begins to develop the traits of a choleric, he will be the best human being in the world.
But that isn't the change. Will he still be a melancholic?
Because
you get
one thing. So we have. You see, you can't say you from one.
You can switch.
No.
You can switch.
Switch. No. There is a mix. Everybody. That's why Tim Laye gave 12 blends of a temperament. We have a Sanclaw. The Sanclaw is a sanguine who has a choleric trait in him, and then we have a Sanmel, a sanguine who has a melancholic trait, and then we have the Sanfleck, the sanguine which has the phlegmatic traits, and then we have the Closan, a choleric who has a sanguine trait as a secondary. So when those blends come in, now what happens is that you may be a choleric as a primary temperament with sanguine as your secondary temperament. But what happens is that when you are like that, you realize that some of the weaknesses of the strength of the choleric will complement the weakness of the sanguine in you. Are you getting me? Into the Emma, one say Nipano. Ebia who say our sanguine traits, but we are the sanguine weaknesses now because the choleric side but when you are not spirit filled you realize that if you have both traits, you realize that your weakness in sanguine will show, your weakness in choleric will show. So I don't know. But one thing that brings that change is Christ.
thank God I said one thing that brings change is Christ. So that means there can be a change.
But me, what I'm disputing is the fact that you said that you can switch from sanguine to choleric. That one. It is nowhere.
Okay, that is what somebody has written, and that's what he believes, and that's what he's talking about. Okay, now let me also come on board. Now you see what you research tomorrow, I mean yesterday, can be changed tomorrow. You get it? Yeah. And that's what somebody has come out with. I think you made a very good loud point as your presentation. Say, nia yesu nyina no eye ne obi atro and now the research we do is not a research, it's reading or whatever. And thank God for that. And I want to also make an emphasis on this that okay, then let me Mamika fancy. Mama can you there obi ai atro na ya kasin bi de nzamba bi a ye ko school yesuan nka ntete no and e be chere dem zama classroom a e be ya cake be cake.
Oh, it's true, it's very true.
And that's the problem of Africa. We memorize what the white man or people have done. 1 + 1 2, 2 + 2 3, 4 plus, then we keep on. But they will learn how 1 + 1 ebe ye 2. I hope you are getting me. Yeah. And to know this is what will be actual. No, I agree with him. I learn from that. I develop from that. But ni name on so me who say Bible na yewon ya miasam na yewon or can be says when you allow the Holy Spirit. Then he also said or can't say so what must some konkron no eboa wa na de je kwan na ebetum I did assassin. Okay, that was where he ended. And I said that's why I want to come in. It's not that there's ibetum asesa. That is the truth. Ibetum asesa. Say imma sunsum kwankron no kwana. Ayehwe phrase no ka bibi de afie ye nyankopon nemba. Na ye be ye no nyendezi. Na say yehu na ye bada na ide mre ote. That means that yehu obi a yehu Christ ye bada na ide mre Christ ote. Na ma ye be no nyendezi. No chere za ye abrebo ye bo su a ye won dem zama nyina no ma me ye na me ye nyina no. Say yehu ma oya na ya jiza oye no tunya no do a ye betum na ya asesa ma ye no ho me jiza dam eyi odu baby na was no only trait no ye 3 pe then it came to 4
no
sisia no aba 5 moto do enum mpo no wontum no won share baby potia otina etina na azichi obi baba kwa baka de sisia ma sia. So that is how it is. And now okay bibi no cheche bibi there ye wo eyi ne fa is obiza kaneze ho but e kro no wo de do no oziba no e bia ye koreka benya botuma ze fragmentic baba baka ho na mo koreka no oziba no wom. But now no miss me point in say imma nyame kwan na nasam no kwan na so sesanwa na me hu do okay abrebo na mebo no mi nyankofo a menye wondam awara me wara no me hu de dam nzama bi rekwacho nti nyame ma bom pai ma fa nyame na asam no akyerem de no we bu emenwe hu de the mazi ai ote no de metum me dane firi ho nti se me fa nyame na asam na me hyase de me dane me se ma dane me hu obi a ne su ne te dem bra me hwehwe ma dane aye na hyase de me sua for dem nyimpa kro na bu na kakra me je me zin ma to no a problem ye wonye de se nyentum nsesa o sa na yentum ye njai za ye wonu mu se me gitum de se me dane ye dem obebo ma ne suna me won me je sunu ma hwa me sama ma ye me say me sina ma je bi fiu nje ba se me je sunu mo zo to a no metum ma fa so foforo za hye me mu na se me ma mo kwan a ono no botum atena me mu ne ka bi the environment to me change environment ni da ma betena han kuti na NYCE FM asesam no abrebo a isu a wo brace etoto no ma zefa mbre papa je or whatever or tutu nza ma zefa mo bi tutu nza ma fa me zinda me se me nyina mo so oh no no dam za se metum musumo bombos in the mayet to them bre what year obebo mtun kankan bon there within a year or two no bona ma brebo start today me ya mazi them bre e was me betina makasa them bre you know liam fa ya pastors asofo obitum follow of a mentor but bon na fi or preacher ne kasa nyina to them bre osimesi okasa ba me wa first no unto them into no I will still want to emphasize that oh yeah bibia was our win and fine yenyi no se environment botuma asesa yen za no che dey samara me mama ho kwana metuma asesa nti motum do enwo aka bibi dey medicine ze obeziba no na marisua no abetan ho kakra but say mirisuya no mo obotum there can be a balance ma mesua no pobotum abehembre mete no do into the still imagine other day otum yes
you see let me tell you something.
Remember we are na ya share weakness ni strength.
Okay. I think what my brother is saying, from Ja Orkano, I think that he's now talking more about character. What Ja Orkano, it's more about character, but temperament is different from character. Temperament, fancy word no cry.
Character they na kwedi say usu.
Aha. But
usu na wonye.
Aha. That one. So from all that you are canning now I realize that it is character rather that you are actually.
And see, because character no be usu, na temperament na ye oni yoy. Nyama bia wuda na di.
Nyama bia.
Esu bia wo mu a wuda na di.
You see, temperament is more innate than character. Character is more outward, but temperament is for instance, let's take my wife is a choleric. Good. Cholerics naturally. I dare know say cholerics. A choleric normally does not care how you do it, but at the end of the day, no has been done.
You have to get it done.
So, for instance, me, I'm a bit of a sanguine, and I have melancholic part of me. My melancholic part of me tells me that if I have to cut bread, I have to use bread knife. You understand? We say we use bread knife. So if there's no bread knife, bread knife, mommy, okofa a kitchen knife for the bar, make and bread knife. Let me do it because that is what must be used for. Now, my wife, even if you give her cutlass, he will cut with it. Yes, because the thing is, now would di now then I would change a bread knife and say a kumakran or the becha necessary kumwa or the becha. Are you getting the point? It is an innate thing be a woman say I must get the thing done. Not how it is done is not the matter. That is it. I know be a woman. But when it comes to character and only Subaya Odanedi to like but what enna mekaya mi besi say the change that we talk about when it comes to temperaments the Spirit of God that can do that.
And we are talking as Christians.
Your character as a Christian, I mean, when you become born again, there's this quick reformation that begins to, you can easily change from one A to A. But when it comes to your
inner temperament,
and no, obia or loud. Sanguine, or you born again, or could disco, but onya born again, he will channel that thing positively, or to you are sorry, or your worship, or your praise near there. Still, and the temperament trait, at the or the abat yamisum, into all the buy, he will find something that is still would do as because only because first masachenti afide mejai me disco ni chilling ni ade ni mejai ni na mabe born again ntino mejai kra obe fine kwan obe chile wanyame fie. That attitude, you bring it into the house of God, but this time positively. Ntino you realize the sanguine nature when you are we are senior. It was choir we are one, but obey Christonia. You don't change. That sanguine nature is still with you. You bring it into the house of God and you use it positively. A crime for fraud. So Tim LaHaye gave examples of people, every character, every a temperament be our better. Now we obi wa Bible mo time onye Christo ni and I say only nyankopon onya suban we no da na di but obeye so no sa suban na odiaba ntino you realize that the temperament is still the same but the your friend is saying it has been channeled positively for the kingdom advancement.
Mamenda bibidi wa Bible me Bible wo ne ekwana huru ebien na yeze interpret Bible. Yehwe Tim LaHaye ne book a wacho ya. Metro book. The book na metro no. Na za me peda me denezi na me kana nkrofo na whatse ase no. Nti no me ka bribi na makofa nyame asem no na me za ba toto ho na me za kire na me kire ne ye na ye wonne a sunsum konkron na nkasa so no oreka kirao na erika na za ba toto asem ho into two ways.
Don't forget that Tim LaHaye himself is a pastor, is a man.
Yes, of course. Mankind don't nyanya me nimpa, but what I'm trying to do saying there, ye wo kwana huru ebien. Nyame sunsum konkron na akasa akirao na mefa asam no meza abata ho na metro bibi so na mihia nyame asam meza abata ho ebien no onye the same onye pepepe ne ncheche mi nye pepepe. Okay, into my mefa channel me mpede makan de or tro bibi no nyame asam na abata ho but mezenye de say me kan ye be say you de ye wo bibiara obiare hu a o menenyu agye ho ena dem trace ye kan wasem nyina so no ihunde oye bribia ibi wa honze nchane obi nti menginze de se me wo ma traitor ma honze no owo sura mepede masesa ba ma wo fom
every
masesa abafom because it try to be o ho a oboa o matum ekwakan ye nnwom bi papa etumi ye nnwom what wonka another nzama bi ozimo okay na bi so o ho a makanda okan wo shakakra inti sa me wo form kakra na se me do wo no wosoro na ma abeno dem environment tum se ma abeno ho a not the metum mesuon na ma afo abaso ono a very simple than obi o wosoro no ababa form e mo me pema no inti no still an imagine there it is possible to switch because maramiz me wa does that baby na mbremete no na nne no ma switch inti me ze me hu za adase inti no change na the watch on what to zinzama to na watch de damana azenete no yem bisa obi ntum nkofi aze no mba masesa obabo hu de mpo ekikikin de why cool owom de ekikikin no not but nze mebi asesan nti tebie na mebi tum sesan se nya mena sam na nkase yi ya nya mena sam tum sesan onye de bia masaw ana menjum to fine honzo ho obi so wo mpekasa but the man was in but do baby no we no babo na afimpo on po ba pekasa chen nimpa no mpekasa no now ye ka isu na ban ana yenye ya ni nyina no it boils up to character na ye ka wasam no because ni amete no on no daisy okay on no daisy inti say ma mete no nsese bi ba mentum nda bibia raise wa bra ma wo mu no on se sign okay hey osimesi anka na anka anka say me kai da ka ce si ba me don power so aka bi o say pastor when you did them say me na odu be me pejo me so me tinam say senka na anka ma wo so ho dem na senete nti no say yamanya hu kwan in fact azo botum asese nyankopon na asam na aya me ka cha so de se Kristo nyi biara onye krado do ba man no kwa no wasesa me da man na mete and sure as the man mete bokọ bonsem gem nti Kristo nyi biara o man no kwa no nsesa no bokọ bonsem gem because Christ obae no zo obaye ni nyina ye nsesa nti na mete no sa me ma mo kwa na metum asesa ifre ho because me from ankasa me ho a dem me music me kan no anka ha me ntum metena hada me nyo kasa me ntum hwa wanim but me kai da me fa Christ from that time zo kwa no mu dan sesa shase do kwa do o ma brabom sesa kwa do o ma brabom in da metum me ye nneoma ba ye idu at the same time e bia wakada ya wo ba chew me hu ma me sia me ye but metum keka nya bo ma ye so da ma osana me ye pepepe me nkwatebre nti no me gitu me there do wa tro was in fact what was Bible atoton but nyame sunsum kwankwan so o manyan apanche no be ma mbre on ye mfo nko toton zama ho nembo nyame na asam na ye ze basesanze nti one otum o man sesaba
na choleric before ya na eguso aye hwe omusuban omo strength ne den den na hye omo den ma omo timi etokoso dan sa suban na omo da na di no
dem be easy kan oye isu oye bibi o wo no mu ahonzen fe na oye ahonzen bi a wo no wo ahonzen de bibi o zibesi wo nenyo de wo pede wo ye bia no wo be ye ona ozi kan de se orubu pan no a onya bread knife a otwa onye ye me kai de odu baby feel na me kai de obi obotwa pan no ba fa pan no bia no ntwa Maria metwa na me ebu na moko into me kai da ko na miss small girl cross it daddy you told us not to use our hand but ennam po me ye bi onu botwa ye obade me yi mu bui okay so inti mama pe ma chwe ne wo ahonzini bi a oboa manzama wo ye bia an okodo wonyim there as in meye as in onye ye in fact it's not possible it's not their language
that's right
it's not their language so at the then mpo now I will make sure there as no ayeye inti so wo be na ayeye a kasa onye obeka nda there also be dada say bi ohia wo mboa na was aya ekwani bia do no obe make sure there on say na dwina as no nkro ye obe take afi kra na ye bohwa ebe hu dem nwa na the great inventors ni nyina no some of them are correct wo da is them isu no into no ma obo ma wotum wodwen kwechi won pa ba on yin wona honze won pa ba was this when your does no do ye no also my brother me yon ye wo be gina ho a wo be ya mazino still ayeye into ye bibi o ya honze nse meka na nse bi botum aba na botum switch nti se nyo bi nam na bibia no oriye azino ntumi no gudu oriye na oye na azin ye ya na when you are bear another nyamisunsun konkron account na waso da no edam so mesesa botum esua nyipa krona na abaye te dem bre ote no because poor kind there me yet to dem bre wote ama me tum me saka ma twon ntin nsesa no oye one kora we wonzin bia obo one ma one za wo pele wo ye biara no wotum wo ye koka
Reverend Tabel na san crofo we no de na etimi bu o mabe mu pa mo hu said no ade we die
twimbu o mabe mu
no Bibi anyo mu weakness
David you are talking about weakness and as a be for them Bibi when cholerics challenge what you see as a problem they see it as a challenge
nti omo nchada ni weakness
weakness but we are talking about their strengths now we be say Bibi mbu o mabe mu ana and omo no ade I say bu abemu no hu a in fact they are competitive by nature naturally almost per competition almost the same or your background pa sa didn't win
my enko ye hwese ye yampa
na say ye man say woni no wadwuma mu a in fact wan hwe ni ye be ka say wo ye kwapefo yes because ade na wo balance lasi wo no onu kri or ye na ye hu say obetumi aye onimu ye you know that's their nature in fact oh worry choleric pa Jack if so won tisa enemu we ase na we e bema na un na worry choleric me sure say eya awarija eni ade na ekoso no san yemo we ya binu nti asem and also can be because who are choleric now what temperament as here you understand her because one thing as here obedient say oh now why no per se or control you that is how they are yeah omusu say they want to be only with you know she's in charge. Oh, Beman, no, she is in charge. So, Beman, we near dear. We will say, oh, no, just say, oh, running, she is running the home. And naturally, women must run the home. Until so, what yes, you give her that opportunity to run the home, and then, oh, Beshechi, now I support him now, oh, yeah, because they are somehow difficult, but there's a way to also live with them.
Now, weakness.
I want to add a little. Better be a credit can as for penny kind. Say yabana werima, anke makande, emba way correct is the best for a home.
Oh yeah, they are the best for
because they are in charge. You see, everything is okay with you. But no, maybe you ma. No, bema. But the dream crumple they are also good. But there are other aspects. I say, wamu fear. You know, they are organized. They are in charge. One China maybe said in NASA. Well, they have what the beast whether that. You know that you know your strength to be all bomb. It can't be so there. Bibi ambu na
but they don't know the cholerics. They don't know they don't have emotions.
That is it.
Love is not in their dictionary. It is who are in our home. I say, officer, your favor. Yeah, when you bury a choleric, you will feel that she thinks she's doing you a favor. Because, oh no, with you or without you. She doesn't need much of no. Love is not, they don't have emotion.
Oh, fine. We knew what
love song near there say how and shut down because Olanga naturally no they don't like they don't appreciate arts. They don't appreciate like good music, good artwork. They don't. It's not part of them. And you know, like, are they ever romantic? Oh, a waste of time, romance.
And come on.
But you can still grow and then.
Yes. You have to nurture. You have to nurture the thing. And you have to work hard to get it.
So that means there's a change.
But love crab romance. Tough. They are tough skin.
You made a point. What can be when here say you're saying your question say bibi ambu or my bow.
Yes.
You see a very
strong
point. Bibi ambu or my bow. But one more number of say anabadwen there ebu wana abo no to them ombu wana abo because the bibi bu abo ma as in nsan nkaye den nkaye biom but once in there say menyo na yere yaze no na sa aze no ma me penaz na akwan because abibi wo piase ye they want to see that aze no ma ye pede ye nya ye nyampa at least ebutum ya kwaka naze na edina ye okay nti say nyo re ya na sa aze no de baby no hu nde za wo
90.7
wombaze bo na za epede ye no omboa wo ba fine kwan bi a wo zo besi nchen na wa pro bi obotum waye
yes
on one about na jama we ebu na aboma na bibi dey obeja wo mesi ho fefefe na wa bomboze na ma ofide anka we je onu mesi ho no nka ye biem no obo wan de ozo bi abese no re on one other side and here you about na jama
and
Yazeba warima all the point wotum oja ya ware on in chere one san kwa ware biom enye da wonder what all right but za wo pɛ no winya no za wo pɛ wo za wo na akɔ na da brɛbɔ no za akɔ no nyɛ crowd de ibosom nti obi gye wo mesiwo na wan ne ma do obi obi obɛboa ma wetum wa yɛ ma ɔpɛ de in fact they are wo pɛ wo goal oriented
yeah
nti no sɛ ɛmboa na ma yɛ ne ɛnyɛ a wo say
China
because
that's the time
you are slowing you are pɛ obi obi slow
but obadwe ne we bu na bo
no pɛ and we are better now worry a sanguine soon as just say they will push you to succeed in everything that you are doing. Just say I did or no who said I deal with saying I said we waste time now once one of you was starting organizing your man no yeah just say oh yeah there no she will push you to do it. She will push you to get things done.
Yeah, show more weakness no. Any pasa no dear na your more weakness. Did you any choleric for no?
Choleric for no. They are very placid. I mean, stoics. They don't show emotion. We are not in any year. Oh, you know, say any year. We are not in a sorcery or like. Well, she's enjoying the thing on my own. Who's out there now? I say, they don't show emotions so easily. On you know, Debbie. They don't show emotions. And I'm with more thing. Naturally, they are very unforgiving. That's one of their weakness. Very unforgiving.
Whereby your mother be Christopher Crown.
Obey Christo near na abolish it. The thing is, whoever Christ and I then I kakra, I polish kakra. My weakness no
kakra wom.
Say if anything, bodam for you too. Now bodam near ye in kakra do but it's like they don't and because they don't show emotions, don't you know? It's like oh yeah, dear. On being Sadia me ye we ebeye we ya na say ebe show abewa no onu na de na or person achieve you know
no any target
say so tia o konso na otumi nsaka na on dwene wo pain na hukum o tia o konso na wa ya de no easy. That's how they are. Even if a proper worldly choleric say a band say unkum no achieving the goal obekum but if you see any so answer no betumi achieve sadie no
this way you free
so you free one obey you free. That's how the choleric states. That's how they are. That's how they are.
Reverend Nathan.
Yeah, so yeah, ba Christo ma. Yeah, ba Christ ma. It tends to be different thing altogether. So no they can kind of when you feelings for other, what kind of crisis somewhere you have it. Number morning you there, you can be there. They don't forgive. They forgive, but one point of forgiveness, would not be what you expect. Say forgiveness. One then they say, I didn't see. I've forgiven you, but I can't go on with you. But I can't
forgive and forget.
No, they will forgive, they will forget. But they'll only that you may know it's like mediachow.
Madame Hoso.
On way different. Mediachow. Me no besro. Me no baye bibia. Lemom zai me no riye na ma me gina nchen no me mpe wo mbiom. But onyi bibia so titiaw. I don't know whether you get it. Or the achow. Because Bible says forgive and you also be forgiven. Onam nyamena sometimes or the achow. But se phone in a year madra. Na ma yentum yen mo say yen na. Oh, Miss Achow. Gina nchen. Obi baba obi bebe gina no wa onyi pakro no onye na aye. Oni nche do ota no.
Okay, human sign.
Aha. Into nizenye there, what pede ma wo ye bia no wonya result. Into say to one anem na ebufu ba. Wo ye nkofo so was it che ntam. Because
no.
Remember, was it chantam in a sense that you see Mekasa on the point that Christ as a sound. Because I'm fine, cha. I'm fine, cha.
Wait. You see, I have 2 books.
I don't want you to go to
no. Listen. Because I want to make a point. The point I want to make is, you see, we are on radio. We are not educating only Christians. We are talking to a mixed audience, right? So we are looking at the choleric
in general.
If we are near spirit controlled temperament, where you talk about Christ as a son, you see. So when we I understand what he's doing, but you see, I came to the studio with a mindset we are going to talk about the choleric. Now, my mind is that we talk about choleric as they are. Then then we will talk about the spirit control. When I am talking and then now I'm going to say we are contradicting ourselves.
No.
But the thing is that
I made the point that I am speaking from the spirit point of view.
When you are saying something, say it so that the choleric out there who is not Christian will see himself in what you are saying. Then when you come to the Christian or the spirit filled then the Christian or the born again Christian who is a choleric can find himself or herself in the context of what you are saying. But if you talk it straight like you are talking of the spirit filled now, what about the person who is not a Christian?
I said that because you explain the general choleric. It make it very clear. Now, because I want to ask something, and I think from the spirit point of view, so I made it very clear. Maybe you didn't get me.
Okay.
You see,
what I'm trying to say is that
I get you.
As we are say address the issue from the general point of view, and then as ministers of God, we are near say from here, we can look at it
from generally what church
on that aspect. I am coming from the other side, so that I need not to repeat. We need to make what can that intimate say woman like easily you let it go, because in Yambera is a bayazina ye Sawara ejemito nama ehunde mamutu de man mo naza mepede me achieve war ifie na nyama no metuma me CP one pay delay one pay born to war. It's not their life or their style. Say it was them suno na wo wiazi mo ye different. Dem be watch ato na ba Christ muswa na se wara mo kwan e ba Christ mo no tare mo kwan na nsesa bi mra wa brebom. Nti dem nsesa ne ba otum otese waso usu na wonye ni nyinara e ma nnwoma bi are tum ye den oyeye wo ye binum a wa ba mumbu dem bizika me kan no na yeba fetchem dem re kan na was as a che no mo was a che ono nje de wanyo sana baba ye ono yin one bi e be kind of weakness you will be feel there was a che ntina nke nanyen yensan
where you were free no wasem
why on your wasam obodin there was with on your wasam but ono no nyu nyasam mo pedo ye na azu no koye ono hwehwe into one say until one asin ye abodwen na jama ye one weakness bi
I will say we ye esu ahodo edipa ban ahodo a ye ne omote ebi we ye fie ebi we ye area ebi we ye busuam awarefo bi ebi ye sa okunu tisa oyire tisa bebre no a ye nti omase ntia na akwakofa ntawantawa horo bi e dia basabre a utie no ebia woni mo bi otisa unhu kwan a obefa so na one no atena na one na san eya na akwakoye problem pa na we de mame fan free temperament no na me fancy for momra hase na me bisa Reverend Arthur say ebia obi ye choleric na say wo de yenfa choleric no okwa bontin a oh onu nie waba opeso ti obi anasem owo idea bi a obehye opeso bi atenenka but okodu fia onte sa nipa no oye choleric and I didn't be gina he okodu fia oye calm oye quiet reserved but oba bontin dia ebe asem dem fan ho kro be kebi no no ye didn't be gina
he makan say eno no ndimu papa because say we choleric na say woko abontin a wo be fia is the same thing but ni nyina no makan say environment no eno so eboa ma wutumi e shift when say oyobi a opese ye hu no so dia de na ewo fie a oba ontumi ndadam isunedi oya azeso ade yehwe no so nti say tumi ye hu azo wo fie o obe fie ontumi ndandam na eziza no se de ehwo ne botumi aboa na ye asam na no ye dam not dem raise can but obe fie na wa dan no se de bibi wo fie a say oye do ye dem bro ye te wa aboa no a o ma somdwe ambefie ono ye obi a we sue hu de dam na aze no tinti me boa me ye ne dam a obeboa ma somdwe abefie nti obefie obotu wa ye cool ayete dem oye wa aboa no na bo no se mo be bia control nti mo ye do ye fie bia so obe ye na mbom no kikiki na zam no oye wa aboa no ihu ndam mo fie obeti obi ana asam wa aboa no obaka wa asam amo but obefie a onto dem sentini de bribi wo fie wa omma kwan ma ontumi ye no se de oye na so ye do oye de mo se de oye na bon ne wontwi ne pintin riba nti awo no ifi asom yere ma nti obi a wa manyame sunsun konkon na ahya na ma no otum ohun kwan osua de ototo amma asomdwe abade bibiara owa amazo pedo oye no wetum ne nsa aka
Reverend suban ahodro ye hwe temperament ahodro hwe ebu o hodo mo a omotisa
especially the sanguine. The sanguine has mood swings. They have mood swings. And you know, omono, you know the person as a sanguine, but you go and meet the person somewhere, the same person. You won't say, sanguines have very sharp mood swings. Obey to me, and they'll be the next minute something happen, and then. But for the cholerics, they are very consistent. They are very consistent. The cholerics are very consistent, and like you say, environment has strong influence on people. But for the choleric, in particular. Beyond to me that cholerics I don't know. Just be beyond the but with the other temperaments, the sanguines, the phlegmatics and the melancholies, reserve that into the environmental influences. Papa. But the sanguine because loud nintino bibi to me see na kanashe bibi to me see no ayedi into amona they are known to have that mood swings me baby I meet here right these people I don't know microphobia betinam area na film pano side ho no mo buy me area ho no what to say a demo highway a very quiet area, right? Now these people come from Impuano side, no bet in a few and you know, Impuano side,
loud.
And I'm saying about some one room or something or something, I don't know. Nipano shower. One room, nipa no no because a drone upon now be somewhere pimpy. No, get the be a barrier ho no bonduma no more be hey but just say they and me area baby I met no make say 80% of the houses in the neighborhood have been turned into hostels. students in kwa into the say students ni one say ya na area honum na ye din. These people come in and you hear noise every now and then. Some lecturers be near there area hall near there. Now one day I complained to some old lady be on area. I make a chance say, "Mommy, what is so you futu near area? We bush have one abayu. Na the way I'm where they no. I'm say unkwan I'm say me did so with me akasachirom tiko kasachirom." Now this woman took it upon herself. I complained to her, "Sana, it been also making the same complaint actually because no eka efutu and she relates with those people, but not in area watching, you know, sound noise, no, honestly, she's not used to their noise. And, you know, she went and told Okohuomo Kasai, and for about a month, me say, Omudede no, I'm say, Eko from Kakra. Now, met me like I say, the whole family is a sanguine family. They come into a melancholic community and they have to become melancholics by force. so it's like the environment, you know. Beginning, no more buy, no more didn't buy. But later, no one will say, Obia Momati say, Obia area on for Casa form too much until they have to kind of adjust to fit into the and they've made the adjustment in kakra. But meaning say Edward no pa no mo sorry fifie na so mo ko omo family houses no ono ma omo kwa omo sanguine no ebede di ho tisi omo ba area ho no mo say anum say e ba pe da ni melancholics. So environment will make you adjust. You, I mean, not change but adjust. We adjust to environments. Yeah. We adjust to environments.
Yeah, sure say bia ye befa calls kakra na yen kind message kakra aba ewo ha say Reverend Mrs. Joyce Odru o say Nyankopon hia papa say enema ba na program no I fantastic o say o hwe ewo Facebook ATA and so no say choleric for no oh just say o are o ma so mo na aware o nti o musuban ne de asem and we Kate and so say Nyankopon hia mo ne topic and mu treat no and afin so asedula and so say o hwe yen papa but your Facebook hey nice 90.7 FM and afi nice TV with me the wadwen share afa honomo and I say o pese o frɛ na ne suban bia o jire ukunu o maame busu ni bi da na di wan kasa kra no wo dan suban bia di nso hu category ayemfa wonyina aho empanifo yi ede nyamestro eni nyame munimde cheche yen enwume 0332 323 724 059 4414 328 0332 323 724 059 4414 na watimi abam na nwumre we nyina no ye checha na ye ka ede akwakosi se dachi bi o ware a wo hunu nipa suban kra o ware. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Mbacho udin maybe akasa for your name. Auntie me yanko.
Nice affair, 90.7.
But beginning not of an addition, and the work no more as international or class for Nagazani.
Me ni more that.
Yeah, the bomb, I said, and taking on another. The other can be as yes, 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 I'm watching. It is 70%. Love offering couple.
And to be a better say, you better say you bring. Auntie May, and in 0332 323 724 059 4414 328. On so betime abemunumre na wa dan suban bia ekoso say ye wa wo pese wo hu se ehefa na wugina na wo bo bra no so a wo hu se dia wo be bo bra na fa o partner bi so a wo hu se asemasi die ni suban die ne papafo yi ken onyina ha no gina ha suban be nan ananum nanso na wotwetwe mu last week ye hwe baako na enenso ya hwe baako enti wo hunu bibia ogina se de ochina bi no enkofa problem emfa maw ebi onipa no kra wonware no afa na mugu so a counselor ni ade nanso suban ya woda na di no wohwedin ya se we de mintimi manage managing be mu enye yi enti ebi a onfa no ho na onfa ho asofo akukudam ene wa hase ya o meche kwan ya obefa so ni saa nipa no atenam yenko Reverend Arthur Honomo ni yemisa no saa suban mienu nyina ya hwe no minimo bi otesa ana mi wo bi otesa mi kunu tesa mi yere tesa mi nya no mane nye saa na se mi ntesa ni nti o wai aya brafom kakra oh na no me kana sha na se den
yeah me da se be mami enka ne nhye but ozika no maka ne za osade ye nyina ye hunyi de bebi a ewo bia no panyin wo ho se yete aseda ma obobo ma yetuma atototo nzama nyina se ye nyina no ye wodam suni bi ndam ahoro bia na de yahwe hu de wobobo ho na wo nyina wo ye dededefo na wanzi ye no so no se bia be hiem dam a abibia na ijari ya zawo kakra okay intin say but me atoto
if you are spirit filled.
Yeah,
me I'm a sanguine, my wife is a choleric, but you know we have a very
yeah one them said the session intin na make the sunsum konkron do was nya na asana abegye mu sunsum konkron to Mrs. Intin no ma yetum yetena wa asomdwe mu okay intin mo sare ye able to me atena in there men kan ne nhye but on the one ma ye nyina yente baby a ye hie mu no na za yare ya no yente ase se yare wara yente awara na yare wara no na awara ne nhyehyɛ na gina bi onyame ahyehyɛ wa awara no mu yente ona ase ozikan edwuma na yare ye so a yente edwuma na ye no ne order ho wona nyi panyin wa edwuma no mu wona na oto no de wa edwuma mu wona o ye de wa edwuma no mu ana se ba awari ma de na nyame aka wa awari mu oya meka bibia yenzi kan fa awari because wona oya asam no ho bebre now ya be edwuma me beka nde wo tua me konto zema me yen nde ma wo pen but awori meze odu baby ana ye rub shoulders yes yan wo pimpim onye de bibia meka de there is a great mistake me from kase bi da awori ma me jizi da sorry ye be page onye ho do na ya tin ye ye tin won ye ya za ye ken sankofo bie na wo dam sunpo be hie ma obotu atoto ne ye onye de ye ka de ye ka odo wa awori mu asha se meka bibi de nyame si do wiaze ne meka nyame si say wiaze ase no no ma Christ bo wuzinye no nkwa na nyim de so bi bodo a se do nam enti ase do obi se opiesi si abaka do mekwadwe no ho edwenu na baka de ma aja atuma no che de ekwadwe no ate ase okay enti no se Bible ka de ya ba woro mi hye Bible se oba men do wukun se man kan ye ya also obema onda ne ye
oba nso mu no
odo mbu no mbra ne ho ase nti se me yes angwe na ma ba woro obi oye correct then the Bible ka Bible se me mbra me ho ase nti se metumi sua nyame asam susu kokron hya me ma na me bra me ho asa ye butum atena somdwi me pepepe obo hu da me nka ne nhye o sa no ye ma seze nyame anka da me ndo me kun nyame se me mbra me ho ase ma me kun okuna nyame se dowo ye nti o ye wa seze de bodo ye na mo obende se meja o me odo na ma ba ya hobrase na wo so eja wa hobrase na ba ye odo na no chere ya afom kwan no nti dama no obaka de America na hye anade America no do na mom se yete yen ho ase de wa wari mu no me ye oba owom de bia mi na me ye dedefu wom baba bo se me mbra me ho ase okunu aseme ndo amayer nti se yetumi hu dam sesie na dam meka da asor ole ye hwedam azin ya sesie dam zam ne ya oba ri ntumi ngina onka de rekama hye ana be ma ne nka de rema rechada owunyi oba ma wofia Bible so oba ma yete oba ye de nti nyina dam zama no de yetumi ye hwe ne ye because ye hwe ma nyame sunsum konkran origin wo mu na se nya fa na asam na o se ye hu no kwan ba ma ya odehye so wo kroma hu to igina bia oye enya akwa okay intine se ya fa nyame asam no na yezi nyame asam do dam rota wa kamisha na mzama nya no orembem me wode bia me ya mbra wodam kwan yedo na so bi wo ho a owodam ahonzan na mema na kwan nyipa ko ne baye oya obo no oya abo mankasa at the end of the day no you are able to ye bamba man what them na won wopede as no okodo ye wonya ne ye nti say ye yirimpo na say the one ntumi ye ne ye ya wabafo dia be che wababa be the mazin ye za ma o ye dwumasam nye de abrebo bon bi wabe but so ba nam so no so ba so ante no asa na me wona akafo bi obey de oh aya ze pa nya mi shraw me ya obi ba ya nanke no na nya mi shra na mi ze me ya za wo hu opeda ze ne be ye nti won wule ntumi ye no wa ma obi aba ba ye that's how they are nti say yete no wase de okay me so no dam na mete minya honze na meze ye damazi nti dam za obema dam no me bi kwan no mba ye de medwuma no na ni nyina onko at the end of the day all no bobo about ono ba na man kan she na dam za nyina no rembe ye botuma atena wasomdwe no bibia akodo fefefe
Terry Ebenezer I say program no nani ajihu papa pampenfo no atre nyame adwen de atre etifo Apollonia Wilson ono so ese fantastic show na enyumre ye Reverend Barnes sa suban whether oba na wo na se be man affect our
cholerics,
whether positive or negatively.
Oh, it does. If it affect our
crime benso
as just as a minia bema ekaye no se entiase amba muntem na obia enhu ni position in the marriage se ne ekan no Bible ama etiase the man is the head bema ne yetri na oba ne yede ne kon
any position bia mde bejina
bema ne yetri no
oba ne enyimnyam
baby amde bejina
me ko wedding bi na oba na e preachi ase bema ne yetri na ye man nso ye na ye kon no nti se tri no ebedane akoni fa ebedane akoni benkumo
kon na be direct
kon ne so nti kon ne direct nti na ya mema no omfa buo ma no.
That's very powerful.
Yes. It's yes, so is whether a awarian be koyi ana enkoyi with this temperament, you know, if we understand nyanyamia trena seno kaena, I don't think we will have problem. Me family example. My wife a choleric.
And no wasua na wonim na wahunu. Na de onsua ye wohunu.
The choleric strong one bi. Unze cholerics
ne wo. Kwanchem.
Yeah. Your chlomel and if chlofleg. But a strong one a closan. My wife a closan. Choleric and sanguine. Too loud e and choleric in the stronger side of her. And you know, say me mama who kwaya. Oh, I'll be controlling me.
Mama when you are yedi ya.
Mama when you are yedi. Aha, mama when you are yedi ya. Inte alam de nesi fom kakra. Yes, our man be taking control because already now she's in control and I will take that from her. She's in control. And I understand, say, such people, you have to give them room. I understand. She's a choleric. I give her room. But at the end of the day, no, there's a way her role is defined. Into him say, I'm in charge, but
me yedru ha
ma daddy now no so until when we understand ourselves like this temperament and we are phlegmatic crampness or worry some cholerica we how to own better that's so what because phlegmatic is the last and the like I say dull cry or no dull or easy to live with and be or no we share the sukrampo and funny so into no say bema ko worry bema no phlegmatic crampo no ko worry choleric or ba na say otisa temperament we are say and create problem. But the only thing is that when we don't understand, once you say me misika ma be ya adie wo pese wo kire me kwan because naturally we ja be control you. Yes, naturally we a choleric we na she will be in control. In fact, they are in control of everything in the household. They are in control. And because of their nature, libido low. The bano say program where penifon come.
Well, you talk for crackable.
But say penifon come on. You can't say the bibia. When it comes to sex, because of their nature, Nintino, omonomo shada.
So Philibia and Fanu shada nya de bia sa.
Nya de hia no. Ono person succeed in life. Eno nye
the main target.
Eno nye the main target. That kind of thing. Nintino, when it comes to that area of life now, I mean, because we are talking about how they are the kasafa senia temperament in the air affecting our the cholerics, you know, because of their nature, sex is not a priority to them. Sex ain't a priority, mom. Until we are better now, worry no. Now, no, no, ma. When it comes to that, say, what defend pass, which mean you're not consistent. Sentence idea, we did back when I bet the back one
say, what I know. And shut down funny,
and a banner is officer or your favor. Naturally, that's their nature. Or your favor. Or Nankasa de Onsheda, Naso Nankasa so, a Nadrin say, a dear way,
and damage.
Musum way party, a simi Musa me, ye, you so dear. Point on Mufasu, your way to ma. And so, ye, up. Oh, but bosim.
Reverend Nata, maybe I me what problem or who say? Say, almost no more who types of temperament. I don't know who say, oh, me to say, me couldn't to say, to come first, I'm managing in ye. Now, almost why ain't no
no problem. For lack of knowledge, my people perish.
Oh, when your word perish, also.
Yabahra. Into no, Yakaze, Nimziwe, Yahoning, a tomb. Into no, le, Obiabusia. Na makande oida sorrow a Sophia Fatu Hodo.
And yet the Bia John say, poor say,
and no one said it to be
na ye church. By a fizzy being in an omega Jamaica, sorma, me fa bosomo crona me church about concrom and Yamana, Yami, Ophi, Juma was among the me church. And Marmy, Juma. Into there will be Biasi. In fact, more thing there, ya for them is Ubon or ye bibia, uncle, and we hear there. Say ye want Sasia Nanka Waranka be prayer world or buyer or what damn temperament in it. You soon another or what damn in Wonumu. Was Sunday.
Is it the temperament be any temperament on any click
on any Jinapa? But yes, as it try yet, no me one day. Some friend them you be a mere industrious me pay Juma. Ewa now or ye wayankwafwa. Zenda zaite so yamkwafobia wopede was bibi swene the juma wopede bibia work out zama wope juma nti say it's
they are workaholics
na se kworo bia e bia oye friend then melancholy na anhwe ne ye ya bobo no kwa adwofo time bia
yeah
mazenete nti no say yetie ne ho ase a anke bekwa akofo bi so otede owo amedwuma ne tuma ye den akodo ye but ono so no nya prepare yo bado ofie nti no se yenya nyimzi was aye muza na nke dam wontwi na itim na aka mu nyina nka yebotum ya ye ho adwuma onkobem na mu yeze damma ahonze na yeze bontokwa na yeze ham no yeze abehye adwuma na ye mu osana se dem broken minyim ne yaye you see say it will be a bibio to train na no nyina oyen pepepera it will be at dem anko ye nhira nti adwuma biara so na nkare ye no obotum esom me adwuma na akodo ye zamo enyi wansro but obi o ho anyi wa eduma re no ida oboto
na metwen na wo maaye no ti na metwen se wo ba na ya hwese betimi ato aso a
aha dam not it nti o be na ma na nti e wo den na re na asasa anyin enwa the incapede you can be there say you can be there say obanam o wa aboa na o mo yo be fi so a o mo te okay oye obi a wa mesunsum konkron no aboan nti no onyim de meba na me yedama oba ozo ho baba nti obi opede asomdwe be fie no zankoz be hye wonsa na nka ebe ye no na oba oba bato nde mroti no no orkofom no obazo obi be gina ode onye na woso no ozo be gina nti na pia kire de hey no kire nyimpa kro no obohu nde oye superior na de nyimpa kro no ozimucha no ehwo na ntokwa na azo no fizeban ndi se beta se na nka cheche ye ka nyina ye hu na ye som ye za na nka okay me damazi aya wonso dam no to iye ndan kra bon fa no onyim on ye kra do podo bosua
ono person with he is starting a course now when your position kakra wo na wo ba be steady odo be sinchen nti no ni adajo de ba be jealous ni. So when it comes to the choleric they don't, but when it comes to the sanguine, a sanguine can be very jealous and it will break him.
Na maybe say yemfa ne se bia obema no na ye sa type of okita sa type of temperament no
obema oye
anasa oba na kita sa type of temperament it's in the other partner no onhu ne say oye sanguine na na say choleric no okwabo nse oye loud ye na oni we din komo no pese waba it's in the other partner no be feel say udu baby apese they be having pese uni nipa enkofo be free sa kwabo ti apekasa dodo
like say na me ye choleric na me sanguine
na me sanguine crowd ye quiet reserved person now other partner no or you loud or pagro or do baby apese who say yeah waba system nim
that's the phlegmatics and the melancholics. They have a lot of problem with sanguines. Sanguines, when naturally we are bana ukushia sanguine bema. Na say we are jealous nante. If you are jealous, you can't move with sanguines because baby Obekubia is the lover man. Mr. Lover man. Because naturally, no, sanguines we love attention.
Baby, on the fan
we love attention, and what we love, we love to give it out. And you know, many one say, "Ebia, me yere no one na say me plan ne na sanguine on ne one namono." Obehuane we share other people, and he is an attention seeker and he is an attention giver. Naturally, that's a sanguine. And onimso no na baby, but we share binumo, he would like to engage them as long as the people are also ready say omsombe engaging no. He will give them the attention. Into no one can hear over say and naturally to when it comes to morals, sanguines have very weak morals. Only a very indisciplined. So sanguine or a womanizer or a manetra just to be in control.
Na melancholy for no sorry.
Melancholy for no dear. No me the type now to me fa or baba and one no and or your bounce bema bakum and nothing. We are very disciplined. Melancholies are very disciplined and they are perfectionists. Or ye be a person ye ne pepe or be yan and once a monka. In your mama life, dear. I'm say, I'm only Jesus.
And you made yate and some baby penny for almost dear. And yet book more dear, Bible more dear, any soon wasem. Any yeti and komo enyumre na sana na sorry no yebema penifoi obi ad na no disemo a itwato na fe bia o nipa ba ko mienu bia opese o chia wo mana wa chia wo na fe yedi dwumadi no asi aka simabe miensa na ade achi yenya enesa yensha semfa fi ye papa penny ye Reverend Kofi Otabel Bans ni de mi jawu ma menya asem
eni se uja eni se uja ehun yan me pa
Oba yente o wasem a etwato efutuo bi a de be ma yenya suban ya wudo yi a okeke obi onomo anene the first time a oti aye ne nwanwa a oni mo bi o sa suban ni wo ken nkrofo de omani geji nkrofo akwa we de ono a girl we ni suban ya ye bossi.
Oh, as much as ye can say and the choleric asem na ye can ya can be bria form no dwumadie we so megidi say aware asem odo enkomodi odo ntintan intini ye kan na ye kan kosi say say me probi aware na me probi ni na twempna na so e choleric na say enye good. Now one thing I will say is choleric no bema no we oba unye bia wenya de papa because ono no choleric bema no omma a common no or a hard working person, but one thing they say it be a time a we hear no senka no they marry their work than the woman they have married and put in the house. That is naturally omo time bibia wo edwuma esi omanimu no nti le mrepi no bon say nedwuma no etumi gye ne mre kese ne mre nyina kese efri ninsem a wo oba na won ne te no anhwa wo nya bi omu nhyeda nso nhyeda anya time too much because enye wo nkwa wo ne nkwala ni nyina afo say wo no mo na ade
obeteki sorti out
nti banse weja onu de ne say me pesika befie nti no wunye bia wenya de papa because all my common de every time bia do kunu hu so de bibi bebe fie na na yere ne ma omo atomo nti no but the only aim is say attention na o pay free no no ebia wonya ne sa wait me aware choleric o skapa bibia obibia obayama baba say adaje pa obenya ma wankasa nipa no man say wonya ne sa but ekoba ne sa na say wote ase say oh oye choleric nusu no nti no na wafa ne sa na mom no we nkwan a woni ne betena na we ye be man so na ukonya bibisa nso a one thing is wote ase ne say choleric oba unya wenya de papa but one hwe ni ye nso a obefo say oba we opeso hye so. But one good thing about them, they are very independent. On China woman is scans or not got draws ashe. On China woman is scans or got brazia. Or we didn't want to go abemo say or no uni aha. Well, at the end of the day no on shada here bibia if you want to know or no don't order no your favor. Or don't order no your favor. But utuminya obasa ufia eye because wunni ho ana wokwa ho kire bi mu krampo na utumi gina ehwe eboa eso mu pja ugina wona so obehwe nkwala no bibia say me I'm married to one, I know what I'm talking about. They are very hard working and it will help you as a man. But yes what you say ayo musuman obey so show so but it's also hunyansa na hu kwan a won ne betena as much as or try say or dominate in the relationship
the boundary
woman hu say yes utumi na ha na edu but and sankofo no so woni omo no ma because onankasa etumi ye ni bibia bibi ohia bi ona atumi ye na adwuma pedisika ye na de enti no obema no se oyere hu ye adwuma na pesika befie one fisika befia na waso be hye because woni hwedi obe control jack woni hwedi a obe control because
any dey make sure say me rain feel Calvary United Christian Church Nyankopon in Champagne say omo abecheche yen huna omo and afi nyame akwan encheche ahodro omotumi de abreye happy birthday and confirma Reverend Joyce Odro Mommy Yankopon insha papa party ni de e next week. Enti bacho mo amukoji breakfast ne ho ani na munyai. E next week na party no ebeba so. Midin e de Akosi Aboaji ahenkra akwa. DJ Notice na we minka na no pa na enwumre. Enwumre kosi anopa mu o produce show no. Na me ya domo a da foforo bi mi ebesan ehia. E da munyina ase.